everyone, and welcome to the Year of Underrated Stephen King podcast. My name is Kim C., and I am the host of this one-woman Stephen King book podcast, where the priority is always an underrated Stephen King diamond mine, followed by all the other King magic that sparkles in our direction. Good people, today I am thrilled to bring you a wonderful conversation I had with an amazing bibliophile who is doing incredible work out there on the interwebs. This man is an educator, a literature advocate, passionate constant reader, and a very successful content creator in the Book Talk BookStagrammer universe. Dr. Cody Vest is a Southern gentleman who received his doctorate in social justice from the University of Central Arkansas. And I believe, if I correctly followed Dr. Cody's video on this, he has been meticulously categorizing and reviewing his yearly reading since 2007. If my calculations are correct, I do believe Dr. Vest is digesting 80 or more books per year, so he has a treasure chest of recommendations, y'all. Dr. Cody Vest has it all, good buddies. Every genre, decade by decade, he's got you covered. And the best part, he hates who I hate, which, as you know, in any great relationship is always a plus. Sadly, we're talking about you, Miss Colleen Hoover. No further comment. But the super bestest part is that Dr. Vest is a champion constant reader, everybody. I'm serious. Gold stars across the board. And he brings so much energy to this conversation. I was really worried we might have a constant reader supernova on our hands, because you guys know my levels run pretty high, so this chat session was quite the combination. Friends, this Dr. Cody Vest constant reader interview is such a winner. I am absolutely in love with his book accounts and his constant reader perspective, and I know you will be too. Please enjoy this bursting with energy chit-chat from a brilliant academic mind and a King fan who, like myself, is consistently bursting at the seams with readerly happiness. Boys and girls of all ages, it is a total pleasure to announce that on today's Constant Reader Interview Throne of Honor, we have seated Dr. Cody Vest. All right, everyone. What a great honor I have to introduce my constant reader interview today. This is Dr. Cody Vest. Hello, Dr. Cody.
Hi, how are you?
I'm quite well. Welcome to the Year of Underrated Stephen King podcast.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, me too. I'm so thrilled to speak with you. I love your content so much. I love everything you do. I love everything you are, everything you represent. I'm just a drooling fan over here. But in case somebody out there listening has not discovered your amazing bibliophile channels, can you explain to everybody out there who you are, what you're all about?
Absolutely. So my name is Cody Vest. My channels are Vest Cody, like vest, like what you wear, the article of clothing, and then Cody, my first name, because it's my last name. And I'm on TikTok as Dr. Cody, and then Instagram is Vest Cody. I'm usually at this point post both stuff on there. But so my channels actually started focusing on education because I have a background in education, was a teacher, literature teacher, always been my thing. Always been an obsessive Stephen King fan since I was 13 years old. And I have a PhD that focuses around social justice and leadership. So a huge passion of mine is getting books into the classroom and curriculum that more accurately reflect our society, people, and are more inclusive just in general. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I cannot. My heart is bursting because you are connected to all the things I love: education, a passion for fiction, just books in general. And you're vocal about this love. I gotta squish down my joy because you are my favorite kind of superstar.
Well, thank you. I very much appreciate that.
So, the first question for this constant reader interview is to ask our constant readers how old were they when they first read Stephen King, and which title was it?
Okay, I was 13-year-old nerdy little boy in the 7th grade in a study hall, and I didn't have a library book with me because usually I was all about like my R.L. Stine, all that, right? So I just found myself one day without a book. And then there was all these stacks of books in there, and I saw Stephen King's It, and I'm like, I hear he's scary. I love scary stuff. I love my R.L. Stine, my Fear Street. I'm going to try this out. So I will never forget, I opened that book. I read it the entire hour, was ready to pee my pants reading the opening scene with Pennywise and Georgie. And I was hooked for life from there. That was the very first thing I read. And I asked my study hall teacher, I was like, can I take this book with me to read it? And he was like, yeah, of course, whatever. He didn't care. And so I was also the kind of kid who grew up super evangelical Baptist conservative family in the South, and my parents would take away books from me. So I had to be very like careful about what I read. I remember getting Jurassic Park earlier snatched out of my hands. And so I had it, and I knew I had a mission. I was like, okay, I've got to be very careful with this because I feel like they're going to know what I'm reading. Now, in retrospect, they probably wouldn't have known because I was also openly reading things like Flowers in the Attic back then, and they never took it. But in the course of, I remember I had to be very selective about when I read it. I had it in my backpack. I'd read it at school during study hall and at home at night. And I finished it in a couple weeks and was just like, this is my favorite book of all time. I still call it my favorite book of all time because it made me who I am as a reader today. And from there, I slowly started reading the Stephen King catalog and haven't stopped since then. It's been several decades now. 30 years. Like, it's basically been 30 years at this point. So,
It's the title to make you a lifetime lover.
yes.
My second question, the follow up to the first Stephen King title, is asking, are you the constant reader who has read everything, or are there still a few things that you haven't touched yet?
I've pretty much read everything at this point. I actually haven't read Never Flinch yet because here's my thing about Stephen King. I don't ever want there to be a day when I don't have anything not left to read by Stephen King that's new. And so, not that he's getting older and I'm scared. I don't know. I'm always scared there's not going to be something I can't read by him that isn't new. So, I haven't read Never Flinch yet. And there's a few stray short stories I know that I've missed over the years that are in anthologies, this and that. But for the most part, I've pretty much read everything.
Awesome. I know a lot of folks who share your sentiment. They want like a little treasure pile just in case.
Yeah, exactly.
In your reading experience, you are what I call gold medal constant reader. You are the top tier. You're who I'm striving to be. I'm not quite where you are. In your experience with King's work over the years, are there any King titles that you notice everyone loves, but you don't love it as much, and vice versa? Are there any King titles that are massively underrated, don't get attention, and you don't understand why? You think they're incredible?
It's hard to find a title for me. Okay, so I'll say the two for me that just really didn't click with me are Dreamcatcher and Tommyknockers. I don't know that they're widely loved, though. I will say, like, because I post a lot about Stephen King content, and people will want to fight me in my comments about books. Like, literally, Tommyknockers. Stephen King himself has admitted that this is a book he barely remembers writing. I don't want to speak for him, but I don't feel like he would consider it his top-notch work. But people will want to fight me, be like, no, I love Tommyknockers. Pop off, king, queen, you, they, whatever. Read what you like, but I do not like that one. Just did not hit for me. And then Dreamcatcher. I remember Dreamcatcher was one like I think if not I think it maybe was the first one after his accident that he put out. I think From a Buick 8 was second, but I think Dreamcatcher was the first one he put out afterwards. And I was so pumped. And then I remember reading it. I was feeling like this feels like it light, you know, because it's got the friends who like have the connections and all this and yada yada. And then it got gross. Like I'm like, have you read it,
I
Dreamcatcher?
haven't yet. I've been saving it.
Dreamcatcher is nasty.
Okay.
Like there's some things I don't want to read about, and that's it. And I know anyway, he can get a little nasty sometimes. Usually it doesn't bother me. But this, I'm like, I don't need to read about all this, and it just never clicked with me. As far as underrated ones that I love, okay, people want to, I feel like, hate on the Eyes of the Dragon sometimes. And I love the Eyes of the Dragon. It's like, okay, maybe it's a little YA. Who cares? What's wrong with YA? It's a beautiful fantasy book. Like, I think about that book so much. Him knitting the, like, rope down from the little dollhouse thing to get, I just love it. And you've got Randall Flagg in there. Like, it's just a beautiful story. Like, I get so annoyed with people wanting to, like, hate on it. People be like, ugh, YA. Okay, what's your problem with YA? Another one, Dolores Claiborne. I feel like it's widely underrated. It's fantastic mystery. And I love how it's told in one breath. How it's, the whole thing of her telling her story. It's just this gorgeous story of how she escaped this just asshole of a person. And also, let's give some credit to Kathy Bates and that movie. I feel like it is widely underrated. Obviously, she's iconic for that. Annie Wilkes, all that. But she's also amazing in her portrayal of Dolores Claiborne. And I'm like, I feel like it's slept on so much. Another one, Rose Madder.
Yeah.
It's so good. One of the earlier ones I read as well. I always love my female empowerment stories, and reading Rose Madder, I'm like, yes, pop off queen, let's do this. Yeah, those are the big ones I think that are sometimes kind of slept on.
Oh, tremendous list, Cody. Those are so good.
Oh, good. Oh, one more I'm going to throw out there just for fun, too. This is Doomakey. Doomakey. I don't feel like it's talked about as much as it should be either. It's so good. And it's like, I feel like people are like, oh, it's set in Florida. And your point is, okay, we love our Stephen King Maine, but like, let's talk about Florida too. He lives there half the year now. Like, I don't know. I love Doomakey, and I feel like it's slept on as well.
Oh, bless you, sir.
I love the constant references to Reba McEntire in it. Like,
Isn't it great?
I love Reba McEntire, and I love that it was red over and over.
So good.
And also, like, how cool is it? I don't know if he did this intentionally. I think he has to, because it's the part that it keeps referencing is it was red, and I keep thinking about red rum, and like, I'm like, are you like connecting more stuff to us, Steven?
Oh man, bless you, sir. Those picks just give me wings. They really do, because I will die on the hill that all of those see more sunshine, that all of those get more exposure. Beautiful. Okay, so this is a raw reaction question. It's really open. You can go wherever you want with it. I only caution you, I have not finished my Dark Tower journey.
Okay.
I just finished Song of Susanna, so I haven't read book 7 yet. Therefore, apologies, you can't go as in depth as
you don't know the ending of the Dark Tower series, then.
Correct. Do not.
Okay. Good to know.
So I appreciate your spoiler avoidance. Thank you so much. But this question is asking constant readers, what are your thoughts on the Dark Tower?
Oh my God, I fucking love the Dark Tower series. Are you kidding me? People, I've got to like caution what I say here. People want to hate on, I think the ending is perfect.
Okay.
I love how he pulls it all together, like without saying anything else. I think Dark Tower is perfect. And it's one of those that I remember when I initially read it, because I read it like as it came out, the books 5, 6, and 7. By the time I was caught up, 5, 6, 7, I read them in real time. 5, you got so you've read 5, so you've got the Harry Potter part in there. And I was like, I love how he's like interweaving all of this stuff. And book 6 is unhinged.
Yes.
And then 7, anyway, without saying too much, you've got all these throwbacks, and then just how it all comes together. I'm like, I love this. And the more it sits with me, the more it just feels right how it is and how it works together. And huge fan of Dark Tower. And then, The Wind Through the Keyhole came out later. It's a cute little side quest. It's not my fave, but like, it's fine. It's, kind of like scratch an itch I didn't know I even had.
I'm so glad.
Did you read The Wind Through the Keyhole?
I did.
Okay, so you read it. So how I read it was I'd already finished it when I went back and read it. Yeah.
I was really punk rock and went through the keyhole like 4.5 right after Wizard and Glass. I snuck through the forest a little bit and went there.
Okay.
And it was so sweet. I really loved it.
It is. It's lovely. What's your favorite so far?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. So I'm a desert girl, so I really do love the cowboy Wolves of the Calla. I love that so much.
It's great. The plates, like, oh, love her.
Love it. Gosh, Wizard and Glass. Wow, that was really, really something.
I struggle between The Wastelands and Wizard and Glass is my favorite. Like, so good. But also the drawing of the three. That's where it really kicked in, and I was like, oh, this story is like incredible. Because I read Gunslinger and I'm like, it's fine. I don't get the hype. And then I read the drawing. I remember I was on a road trip. I'm like one of those people who's been blessed with the talent where I can actually read in a car. I was on a road trip back from Colorado. I remember just being enraptured with the drawing of the three and being like, this is the best book I've ever read at the time.
It really does go from 0 to 100 in that novel, which I love.
It does. And then, book 3, and oh my gosh, I think we'll talk about this later, but Blaine the Mono, obsessed.
He is nuts. I love him. Okay, this question is taking us into some of our fun one-off questions, and it's asking about your favorite Stephen King villains.
Oh, I feel so basic when I say this, but like, how can you not love Pennywise? He, to me, is the ultimate Stephen King villain, probably because he's the first one I encountered, like I told you, 13 years old, reading that creepy scene in the gutter, but also just in it, like, there's that scene in the library where all the balloons are, like, floating, and it's just, it's just, like, the eeriest thing ever. I remember, I've reread it several times, I think 3 times, and I remember in college rereading it, and just, like, talking to my roommate at the time, being like, this is the scariest scene I've ever read. I was telling him about that. And then also the scene in that book with when he takes over the Paul Bunyan statue. I'm like, this is terrifying. And I'm trying to explain it to people. I'm like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but like, there's this statue of Paul Bunyan that's come to life, and I'm so scared. But that one, Annie Wilkes, like, how can you not be terrified of Annie Wilkes?
Yeah.
To me, that's one of the scariest books he's written, and it's real. That's what also makes it so scarier, is how obviously Pennywise is terrifying, but it's supernatural. It doesn't like have quite the effect on me as someone like an Annie Wilkes does. And then, as I mentioned earlier, Blaine the Mono. That's just a scary, crazy villain that I love, love, love. Everybody wants to say Randall Flagg, I feel like, too. And Randall Flagg, he's scary, but I don't know. Those to me are even scarier. They just stand out. They stand out more in my mind. He's your like classic villain, whereas these are so more subversive, where you've got a clown, you're a middle-aged woman, and then a freaking train. So it's,
Oh, great list. You got some good ones for sure. So this question is asking constant readers, who would you like to have the Holly Gibney treatment or the Danny Torrance treatment, where they get their sequel, they get their own spin-off series? Is there any character in the King universe who you would like to give that kind of spotlight to?
Oh my gosh. I feel like my answer on this varies for every time you talk to me, every time someone would talk to me. But Salem's Lot, I would love to see more from the characters of Salem. I know we saw Father Callahan, whatever, but I want to see more from that. I want to see more. I would like to see more just because I think it's on my mind because of the movie of The Long Walk coming out. I want to see more from, oh God, I'm blanking on his name. The main character, the one who was like walking towards the dark man at the end.
Garrity? Was it Ray Garrity?
Garrity, thank you. Yeah. So also that might be a spoiler. I'll just say the person who wins the long walk. I would maybe like to see where it goes from there with him. I would like to see more with. I would like to see more with Dolores Claiborne. I want to see more from Mike Noonan. So his book came out when I was either. I think I was a senior in high school when that book came out, and I was like deep in like just early stages of my Stephen King journey, and I was obsessed with him. He talked about Do you remember the phrase in that book? Mike Noonan was described as VC Andrews with a dick. And like, as someone who grew up on reading books like that, I was like, I'm obsessed with this character already. I want to see more from him. That's a great, oh, yes, Mike Noonan.
That is a tremendous answer. I've not heard that one before.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, like, really, where is he? And there's a great miniseries of it, too, that I don't think people know about as much. Wait, there's one more on my mind as well. I don't know if I feel
Sure.
like we kind of got our fill of it with, like, how there's, like, recurring bits in, like, 11/22/63. Although I would, because we do see them as adults, too, and so it's like, I don't know. Okay, anyway.
Stellar answer. This is a kind of piggyback question that's stemming from the prequel question. As you know, Charlie McGee from Firestarter, the novel ends when she is 9 years old. So if Dr. Cody Vest had the opportunity to write the sequel, Stephen King says it's okay, and you get to take Charlie into the future. Where would you take Charlie McGee? Do you have any ideas where you'd like her to go?
Okay, so we're going to have to protect Charlie at all costs. So
Yes.
obviously she cannot stay in the United States right now.
Yes.
So we've got to take her somewhere where she can like explore her talents that actually helps out the world. You know who I think she should be best friends with is Greta Thunberg. How do you say her name?
I think you're right. Thunberg, yeah.
Thunberg. Okay, I think they should be best friends, and they should like help have this whole environmental like let's figure out how to make our world a better place. I think she should do that. I think she should be connected. The way Firestarter, I'm not gonna lie, it's not one of my faves of his, but I love the character of Charlie, and I think actually reverting back to what we talked about. That's another character. Where would she go? Where would we see her in the future? That's actually. It's like he's always got the creepy children, like with the Institute. Which, if also have you haven't been watching that series? It's really good, the new Institute series. So it's like, should she team up with some of those kids? Like have an X-Men type of academy? I don't know. I don't know that I have the best answer to this, but I would like to see where she goes. So actually, I'm going to go back and say, let's give Charlie the Holly treatment.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm with you on the X-Men camp.
Right? There's so many cool kids from Stephen King universe that we could like put into a camp who could like turn into this world-saving badass kids.
My big dream of dreams is Abra Stone from Dr. Sleep needs to
Oh
be with
my
Charlie.
God. Also, Doctor Sleep is one of the scariest books he has ever written. It's I still sometimes get nightmares from that. And also they did what's his name? I'm blanking. Mike Flanagan did such a great job with the movie. I will never forget that scene where that poor little kid and he's like, "Is this going to hurt?" And she's like, "Yes." And I'm like, this is exactly how Rose Hat. There we go. I'm like, this is exactly how she should be portrayed. This terrifying, evil villainess. And oh, she's so terrifying.
You are so correct. I think that scene in the theater, I actually started crying. Like it was so
Oh, I know. It's so but she's so scary. She's another like one up there for scariest Stephen King villain, I think.
100% agree.
And do you know how he got the idea to write that whole novel? Is literally from he read an article about how there was a cat who could detect when people were like about to pass away and would go there to kind of comfort them. And I'm like, this is why I love this man. How does your mind go from that to I should write a sequel to The Shining?
It's nuts. I truly am with you. I'm like,
Yeah,
wow, Steve, how did you get there?
right.
All right. So we're going to jump to a question about Stephen King endings.
Okay.
And usually, constant readers are all about the journey, and the ending doesn't matter that much. But sometimes, after 1,000 pages, a bad ending might sour the journey as a whole. Do you have any Stephen King endings that maybe sullied your adventure, or are you okay with how he ends novels?
The Stand. Stephen King, buddy. Even he talks about, have you ever seen an interview with him talking about how he was like, I got to a point in the stand, he didn't have an ending in mind. And he was like, I don't really know what to do with all these characters. Oh, I'll blow up a house, kill off half the characters, and see where it goes from there. And it kind of shows at the end of The Stand. I love The Stand, don't get me wrong. It's incredible. But that ending makes me just irrationally angry. How it's just so somewhat it. I do love the like ending of the bicycle and all that, but it was so hard. I think part of it for me, I want to say, as a 13-year-old trying to understand this cosmic horror ending of the turtle and all that, I don't think my mind could fully comprehend it as a 13-year-old. So when I reread it as an adult twice, I'm like, okay, I get it a little better. It's fine. But I'm like, I think you could do better. but it doesn't make me as mad as The Stand does. And I'm like, you had this epic, incredible thing, and you're having the hand of God come to what? No, 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 buddy.
I'm with you. I think many are with you with that.
Yeah, it's just,
The literal hand is
right. The literal hand of God. Seriously, we did all this for this. And just like it kind of made me a little angry when I heard him tell that story. He's like, I was like, oh, I can just kill half the characters, blow up a house. And I'm like, what? You didn't have a plan. I mean, it's fine, I guess, but you had all these incredible, complex characters we loved.
I'm with you. I am still not okay about Nick.
No, no. Yeah.
All right, my friend. So this question, you kind of already led into it, which is magical, about the rereading experience. Can you tell me about what your rereading experience is like? Is it just your old favorites? And what have you noticed from the titles you read when you were younger versus adulthood rereads?
Okay, so it is one that I think I wanted to be a goal in my life to reread it every 10 years or so. And I think I've read it 3 times now. And I just call it my favorite book. And it's like, of course, there are parts that don't hold up. It was written in the 80s. Get over it. It's fine. It still just encapsulates so much of what I love about Stephen King is rereading that. And then The Long Walk. I have read it twice because I read it young too. And I actually had a really amazing opportunity to go to Comic Con with Lionsgate last month and see the first 22 minutes of the movie. In preparation, I wanted to reread the book, and that one just, oh, it's another one that I remember loving. And it holds up too, because I don't think a lot of people realize this. That's the first book he ever wrote. You know, he was like 16 years old, I think, when he started writing at 17. I forget what age, but he started writing it, put it aside, and people want to argue with me in my comments when I say that. They're like, Carrie's his first book. I'm like, first one published. There's a difference. But he kind of wrote it in response to the Vietnam War, and I'm like, this is just. And actually, fun fact, I don't know if he's talked about it. I think he has. How if you think about back then, there weren't like treadmills and stuff like we have now. I think he said it's like 4 miles per hour they have to walk. That is a really fast pace.
That's
And
fast.
so, did you notice the movie? If you've seen the previews, they've knocked it down to 3 miles per hour, which is like much more reasonable. So I kind of love like little nuances like that, how you can see his books evolve over the years. In terms of other rereads, offhand, I don't know that I've reread. I read The Gunslinger again. After I finished the series, I went back to reread The Gunslinger. Will not say anything else other than that.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
I
Good to know.
recommend that to everyone, though. After you finish the Dark Tower series, go back and reread the first Gunslinger book, and it feels so beautiful.
Okay, this is a rogue question because I got to ask you, as an educator, do you believe, because this is how I felt when I first read The Long Walk, even though I teach at the university level, we always think about high school, always, forever. And so do you think Long Walk could be in the curriculum in high school?
I would love for it to be. It's so violent, though. It would be hard to put in. You know what I actually did teach? Every year, I taught mostly AP literature. That's like seniors in high school. Every year, I taught The Man in the Black Suit. And yeah, I taught. So I've read it. Actually, Tok-er rereads. I've read that book 15 X amount of times. I've read it so many times. It's such a fantastic introduction to Stephen King.
Yes.
Honestly, I just would see just so many like fights about it, but I would love for it to be there as maybe a book, a choice book. I always did that. I would give students choices with books. Sadly, I don't know if there's much that would people wouldn't have fight about. Maybe The Eyes of a Dragon, maybe. But yeah, The Man in the Black Suit is so good. I would teach it every year because it won the O. Henry Prize, and it's just such a good intro to Stephen King and can tie into so many other things with like the Faustian legend behind it and all of that. So yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad you taught that story. It's so good. But I'm with you. Like when I read The Long Walk for the first time, I'm like, oh man, this would be so awesome in a classroom because it's heavy, it's dark, but it's an allegory for Vietnam and these young people.
Mhm.
And like it's kind of like The Lottery, way more violent than Shirley Jackson's The
Yeah,
Lottery, of course. But you're right. I think that's like my wish is I wish Long Walk could be in schools.
I do too. I think it would have the most impact in schools as well in terms of the novels.
Agree. We're heading into the fun, fantastical questions. So these are a little bit more imaginative and fun. This is asking about Stephen King settings. If you had a magic wand and you could go away for a summer or a weekend and get stuck in a Stephen King setting, which one sounds like a cool place for you?
Okay, when I initially read this question, my thought was Derry, Maine, but then I'm like, I don't want to be attacked by Pennywise. So, and then I'm like, well, maybe Castle Rock, but, do I want to deal with all this stuff with Castle Rock? There's a lot going on there. Dogs, all that. So then, honestly, I'm going to be super basic and just say, well, no, I'm not. I'm going to change my answer. Initially, I was going to say the Somewhere in the Dark Tower world would be really fun. But honestly, the Eyes of the Dragon world, I think would be like, it's so fantastical and cool and everything you think of a fantasy, beautiful world to be like. I think that would be so fun to be in. And it just feels like good always overcomes evil in that world. Whereas it doesn't feel that way in the Dark Tower. So.
Great answer. I'm with you. The Kingdom
Yeah.
of Delane. Let's go there.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. That's my answer.
Super nice. Nice. Okay, we're going to jump to Stephen King television. Do you have any favorite adaptations for film or TV?
Oh my gosh, yes. So I love the It 2017 Part 1. Part 2 wasn't my favorite. Part 1 I thought was perfection when I think of it. And I love the old 1990 TV miniseries because I was a kid, but like compared to like that Part 1, I just thought that was absolute perfection. I also really liked the old Pet Cemetery. That scared the bejesus out of me as a child. Like the OG one. I watched the new one with, was it, who was in it? It was someone big. Was it Zac Efron in it? Did I make that up? Is that right?
Maybe I'm drawing a blank too.
I'm drawing a blank. I think it was like, I watched and I was like, this is not good. No, Zac Efron was in Firestarter. That's what he was in. He was in
Yes.
Firestarter. That's what was it. And it was all right. I love the Drew Barrymore one when she's Charlie. That one's good. In terms of, I really like to think a lot about like his, obviously, well, there's the basics. Like, of course, I love The Green Mile and Shawshank. Those are iconic for a reason. The Body, which is Stand By Me, love that as well. But I also love The Mist, which, how they famously changed the ending. And Stephen King was like, oh, I like your ending better than my ending. I agree with him too. Like, that was, oh, it's horrific, but it's so good. I feel like there's one I'm missing. Oh, I like what Mike Flanagan has done with the Stephen King universe. Like recently, The Life of Chuck. Fantastic. It was so good. And I love when people are so surprised to discover that Stephen King is more than just a horror writer. I'm like, no, he's a character-driven writer. Of course, that's kind of his thing. You do have some of that horror aspects, but he's so much more than that. Mike Flanagan, what he also did Life of Chuck. Oh, he did Doctor Sleep too, which I thought he did that perfectly
Yes.
for what he had to work with because she's like, I'm not making an adaptation of the book necessarily, as much as I'm making a sequel to the movie that's true to the book as well. So he had a lot of work to do where he had to interweave both the book as well as what he was adapting as a sequel to The Shining, the movie. And I was like, perfection. But I just love Mike Flanagan in general. Like, oh, he's so great. He can monologue to me all day long.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm just like fist pumping over here at every Cody answer. You are my kind of constant reader, my friend. Oh man, it's just so nice. You're ticking every box, like every box. I'm like, he gets it. He knows.
Those who know, right? Ugh, he's the man.
Amazing. Do you have a favorite Stephen King couple, friendship, or team?
So I love, okay, you're going to have to help me. I'm blanking on the names right now. 11/22/63.
Jake and Sadie.
Jake and Sadie. I think they are the most adorable pair in terms of like romantic couple. Okay, there's a little cringe when they're talking about, was it pound cake when they have sex?
Yeah.
It's like, do we really need this, Stephen King? But okay. But like, I think we've talked about bad endings. Perfect ending. Eleven
Yeah.
22/63 when he's dancing with her at the end. Oh, like my heart cannot. I love them. Lacey's story, the couple there. I can't remember his name at this point.
Scott Landon.
Scott, thank you. So like they're so beautiful together too. Obviously Rose Matter. Kidding. Kidding. The worst
Oh
couple.
no.
The worst couple.
No, thank you.
God. You know, I'm going to go on a tangent here for a second. One of the scenes I will never forget is when in Rose Matter, her friends tries to confront, and he like throws her onto the hook and it goes into her eye. For whatever reason, that scene has stuck with me. I read that book, I'm not exaggerating, 1999, 26 years later. I will never forget that scene. Obviously, Jake and Roland, friendship wise, like how can you not love Eddie and Susanna? Ah, love my Dark Tower people too. Trying to think of some others off the top of my head, but those are my big ones probably coming up with right now.
So good.
Yeah, but Jake and Sadie are my faves, I think.
They're great. They're so good.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you mentioned a little bit about the man in the black suit, but what are your other, because you are in this book talk, Bookstagram world, and so I know that you run the gamut of all kinds of readers.
Yes.
What do you recommend to, I know that you actually have a video of this exact question
I do.
in verbal form. What do you recommend to people who have never, ever, ever read Stephen King?
Okay, so actually, well, I have a couple. Of things. Number one, I say if you want to fully get yourself immersed in the Stephen King universe, I say start with Carrie, move to The Shining, do Salem's Lot, like kind of start early on. And I have a video talking about this. I really had to sit down and plot this out. How I want you to get yourself immersed in the lore of like early on before you then dive into some deeper stuff where even it kind of gets itself you start to immerse yourself in deeper stuff with it. Very first books, just start with Carrie. It's the first book he has published. It can kind of get you started with, he loves his stuff with telekinesis and kids with special powers, move to The Shining where you get to learn about the Shine and he loves special powers and people. And then, okay, we've got horror creatures. That's why I say next, jump into Salem's Lot. And from there, like I said, it kind of takes deeper dives. But I just don't think people should start with the Dark Tower first to fully get like what he's all about. But I have people who come to me a lot and like, hey, I don't like horror books. What should I read there? And so that's where I'm like, I think his best non-horror work is either The Body or 11/22/63, because I don't feel like 11/22/63 is a little scary, I guess, at parts. So is The Body, but they're not that scary. They're like horror light. I say do some of those to start with, and then I'll have people who are like, hey, I'm more of a fantasy guy or girl or they, I'm like, okay, without jumping in immediately to Dark Tower, I'm like, maybe start light with like the Eyes of the Dragon. Get to know Randall Flagg before you jump in.
Oh, that's so smart. That's so smart because yes, okay, that's really smart.
Yeah, so it's like, I just feel so bad when I had a friend one time who was like, I don't really like Stephen King. And I'm like, well, what have you read? And it was literally like, they're like, well, I read Revival. And I'm like, okay, I love Revival, but if you're not a cosmic horror person, you're going to be turned off. And I'm like, so also Mother at the end of one of,
Oh my God.
and kind of gives you some insight into the nature of it, like so fucking scary. Like,
Yes.
oh my God. I think one of his most terrifying villains. But I'm like, also, I think you might like it later. Or like another person who told me, they're like, I read Insomnia first. And I'm like, oh my God, I love Insomnia. But Insomnia needs to be built up to, I feel like, which is so annoying and pretentious to say. But it really does. You can't just jump in with the Crimson King, like we got to build up to the Crimson King to understand, because don't want to be like, what the fuck am I reading? Or like, I had one friend one time who told me, they're like, who are these low men in the yellow coats? Because they're reading Hearts in Atlantis. And I'm like, okay, well, so let me tell you about the Dark Tower. And I feel like, that crazy meme from the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he connects the dots.
Yeah.
I feel like trying to explain that. So anyway, yeah.
These are all very smart recommendations because you're right. People could step into these big old potholes.
Yeah, and it's like, I hate to be like that, but also you wouldn't read Outlander series and jump in at book 5, But you need to be a little strategic about your Stephen King journey.
Oh, I love that. Oh man, I'm gonna sew that on a pillow, Dr. Cody. There does need to be a little strategy involved, I think.
Right? Well, it's like, think about Desperation and Regulators. Read Desperation first, Regulators. Oh my God, it's such a cool book. I think if you just read Regulators by itself, you're like, what the heck? This kid who's pooping on a toilet can only, like, it's so weird. You're like, what am I reading? And then you read Desperation first, you're like, oh, I love this book. And oh my gosh, one of my favorite, I'm going to go on a quick tangent here about how I realized how early on obsessed I was with Stephen King. So do you remember in Desperation, I'm so bad with names, the main character of Desperation, how he like has to put soap on his body to wiggle through the bars to get out of the jail cell. Do you remember that part?
I haven't read Desperation. I'm so sorry.
So, okay, Desperation's fantastic. Read it. There's this part where the main character, Ked, of it, he has to like put the soap on his body. He's like wriggled through the jail cell to get out. When you read Regulators, so do you know how the connections is between Desperation and Regulators?
I think so.
They're like companion books, right?
Right.
And you have characters with the same names who are not necessarily the same people, but the same names. And so, like, you've got that kid as an adult who he is outside, like, washing his car with his shirt off, and they describe him as having, like, all the soap all over his body. And it's like, that's the same kid, same character name in Regulators from Desperation now. And I remember connecting, I'm like, oh my gosh, he had to wiggle through the jail cell. And now he's out here, this middle-aged dad washing his car. He's got soap all over himself. And it's a callback to Desperation. So it's like, and because, Regulators was written as Richard Bachman. And so it's supposed to be paired together. So I hope that made sense what I just explained. This is how my brain is firing right now when I start talking about Stephen King.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And I'm so jazzed for those novels. I have a big gap of 90s King. And so I need to get there. And I'm so excited now.
90s King is so interesting because it starts out, you've got like, what I love too is how it's like, I felt like he had this response to people wanting to be like, oh, you write terrible female characters. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to write this trilogy of badass females where you've got Dolores Claiborne, Rose Madder, and
Gerald's Game.
Gerald's Game. Thank you. I was like, I'm blanking on one. Oh, another fantastic Mike Flanagan movie. He's got this. He's like, okay, I'm going to write badass females. And I'm like, this is why I love this man.
I'm so with you, and you've walked right into our next question,
Oh.
which is asking your favorite Stephen King females.
Oh my gosh, how do we narrow this down? Dolores Claiborne, I think, is my number one. But also, like, I love Annie Wilkes. She's
great.
unhinged in the best way possible. She is an icon for a reason. I love Sadie too from 11/22/63. I love, there's so many of them. I feel like he really started coming into his own with female characters later. But also Carrie, how can you not love Carrie? She's just so misunderstood and so just wants to be a part. Oh, she's just like what a teenager, I feel like, describes like how so many people's teenage experience is, where they want to be a part of something and feel left out. And Carrie White, just love her too. Yeah, no, yeah, those are the ones coming to mind right now. Yeah.
Those are stellar. And Carrie, yeah. Oh, when I really like think about her, my heart just hurts. It's just so good.
Oh, I know. And like, I know there's someone big I'm leaving off that. Oh, Susanna. I love Susanna from Dark Tower.
Isn't she incredible?
Such a badass.
Oh my God. Any day of the week, Adetta could fight my battles.
Yes, yes. Ugh.
Oh my God. If I could just summon Detta Walker to fight people for me, she's the coolest.
Queen, iconic queen. Yes.
Iconic queen. There is no other. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you know the wild, weird, wonderful of Detta.
I love everything about her. And so, and like, you've read book 6. She's so unhinged in book 6, but in the best way. Yeah.
I'm actually rereading book 6 because I need help because there's so much lore that gets dumped on us.
There's so much, and I remember reading it and being like, what the fuck did I just read? And I had to go back. I literally, that actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I did reread that, but I reread it like at the same time. Like, I was trying to go back and connect it with book 5, and it was just, also, I think I was like 21 when it came out, so I was still like,
Probably partying.
well, yeah, in college, didn't have a fully formed brain yet, you know?
Oh my gosh, that helps me so much, Dr. Cody, because I felt so alone in my misunderstanding Dark Tower 6, like Song of Sea. I was like, oh, this is hard. This is really difficult. It actually validates my feelings a lot. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, of course. Always so much. And you know, there's one I want to, if I can go on a quick tangent, one I want to reread as an adult is From a Buick 8. I think I read it too young, where I didn't really grasp the full meaning of it, because it's, you know, it's kind of another cosmic horror one, and I don't feel like I really had a full grasp on what it meant. So much about like regret and like being an adult and how you can move forward. And I want to reread that one. And that's one that's actually been on my brain too. Like, I need to go back and revisit that one as an adult. Because again, I think I was 21, 20 when I read it, something like that.
Think you'll really enjoy it. I really like From a Buick 8, and I think that as you age, it hits different, as the kids say.
That's what, well, no, I've had so many people when I talk about my Stephen King journey, like that's one that people are like, as you like get older, it's one that resonates a lot more. Whereas when I'm a college kid reading it, I'm like, okay, this is fine.
Yes, it's got a lot of power, I think, the older one
Yeah.
is. So I'm excited for you. All right, we've got like 2 or 3 more, I think. Maybe,
Okay.
yeah, 2, 3 more. So this is a fun one that I love, love, love. And it's asking your favorite Stephen King animals, pets, creatures.
Oh, Oi, obviously. How can you not love Oi? Oi's the best. Oh,
He's so precious.
Oi, like 100% number one. Otherwise, I mean, I don't like Cujo. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like Cujo. Like,
That is okay.
I'm not an animal person, so like it's hard for me to like animals. That's so bad. But I love Oi. Other creatures though. Can I count Mother from Revival?
Yes,
Like,
you may. Yes, you
I'm gonna
may.
count Mother from Revival, how scary she is.
Oh
Oh,
God, she is. She really is nightmare fuel.
like literal ultimate evil.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, what about, even though I'm not crazy about Dreamcatcher, the alien weird creatures from Dreamcatcher that have to be pooped out or whatever, like, that's so gross. Like, what the fuck, Stephen King? Why does your brain do this? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, more creatures. Those from, well, you haven't read Regulators yet, so like
Not yet.
they're not really creatures as it's like the toys. Well, okay, I don't want to spoil too much for you, so I'm not going to say anything. But there's these weird, I don't know, creatures. Anyway, okay, we're gonna move on.
No worries. Those are some good ones, though.
Oh, one more I want to add. The Raft, which I think is his most terrifying short story. black blob or whatever from the raft. Scariest thing ever. Like, I think about the raft a lot. A lot, a lot. Like how that short story terrified me. Oh, the boogeyman also. God. Like when the psychiatrist takes his mask off at the end. Ah!
Oh, you had some good ones. Those are some golden oldies, but they're great.
Right. It's like the more I talk, the more I think about all these scary ones out there. Obviously, did you see the monkey? That was fantastic. I love the adaptation of
Is
how
it
just.
fun? I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's messy in the best way possible.
I will check it out. But I do love that little prop guy, the little symbol monkey.
Right. Uh,
Oh, such good answers. Those are so, oh man, the OG constant readers are going to celebrate that one.
right. The raft. Oh, God.
Terrifying. I'm with you. Okay, this is a question that I created after I read Under the Dome for the first time. And
Yes.
I really hated Junior Rennie and Big Jim Rennie so much. Like I wanted to choke them with my bare
Speaking of
hands.
endings, I hated.
Oh, preach, preach, my friend. That was a hard one. That was a hard
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
This question is asking, which Stephen King character would you save from a fire and who would you throw into the fire?
Okay. Who would I save and who would I throw into fire? So I want to save someone who's died. Okay. All right. So I'm saving Georgie. He didn't deserve what happened to him. Poor little guy. No, I'm saving him from a fire. And then Rose the Hat, she's going straight into the fire. Like, bye, Rose. Have fun. Just tell Lucifer I said hello. So,
Such a fun, great answer. I love that. So, so good. Okay, we have made it to our last Stephen King constant reader interview question. I know it's going to be a challenge. You can have some honorable mentions, of course, but your
okay.
top 5 Stephen King titles and why are they the top 5?
Okay, I feel like this would change depending on the day you ask me. Number 1 is always 100% going to be it for me. It's the first one I read. It's one I keep going back to. It's what it helped form who I am as an adult, as a reader, everything. No question. The Shining, I think The Shining is a masterpiece, maybe the scariest book I've ever read. Just as a whole, I think nothing will ever terrify me as much as the opening scene in it, reading that so young. But like The Shining, oh my gosh, so scary, so good. I've also gone through 11/22/63 in there. It's one of those when I was always like, nothing's going to compare to like OG Stephen King when I read it in, what it come out like 2011, I think, something like that. And I was like, oh, he is back better than ever. I think it was shortlisted for the National Book Award or maybe longlisted as it should have been. I would also put, oh, it gets so hard, like, because it changes constantly for me. Pet Cemetery,
Amazing.
it's so good, so scary, so well written, has so much to say about just life. And that's one thing, the reason I keep going back to Stephen King is because of the way he writes his characters. He has so much to say about the human experience, even though it's through these crazy villains, these crazy experiences that most people would never experience that aren't even realistic. But he has so much to say through his characterization and character development that you keep coming back. And that was to me what I think about when I think about the grieving parents in Pet Cemetery and why they would go to the lengths that they did. And God, just how terrifying that one is in general. Okay, number 5. Oh, this one's so hard. This one's so
It
hard.
is hard.
Had you asked me yesterday, it'd probably be different, but today, I'm going to go with Misery, I think.
Good. Awesome.
I need to throw a real. But see, I want to put The Long Walk in there too, but I'm gonna go with Misery. I'm gonna go with Misery because I need a realistic horror in there, and just how Annie Wilkes is the scariest realistic horror villain of all time in his
Yes.
works. I think
Yes.
there's Pennywise, there's Mother, there's all these other ones that are scary, but she's just a real person who's obsessed with misery.
Unmedicated, unhinged.
Yeah, literally, it's like, girl, get your lorazepam or whatever.
Yes. Yes, she needs beta blockers stat.
Oh, shit.
I'm with you. I think Misery is a masterpiece, and that is a stellar list, Dr. Cody. So good. These are some home run hits, all of them.
Yeah, and there's just so many, like, honorable mentions that I think about. The Outsider, like, what a beautiful work that one is.
Yes.
And I think also one I should have wish I'd thrown on my underrated ones. Just I love that one so much and what it has to say about the duality of human nature and who we are as people. And I love that one. And even kind of like his crime side, like Joyland. I think that's another one I wish more people talked about. Such a beautiful book.
I'm with you. We're in the same canoe. I love it. So that is all of our questions. But before we go, can you tell everybody out there listening, if they haven't found your channels, how to find you and also what you have going on for 2025?
Absolutely. So my channels, I'm on Instagram and TikTok are my big ones. It's at Vest Cody, VEST, like the article of clothing, Cody, CODY. I'm on both of those. I talk a lot about books and I talk about Stephen King quite a bit in there because he's my man. I always tell people if I had 3 people I'd want to meet in this world, it would be Stephen King, Britney Spears, and Sarah Jessica Parker. So my books, my music, my TV. But for 2025, I actually just got to go to Comic-Con to see the first 22 minutes before everyone else of The Long Walk. Lionsgate took me out there. It was incredible. And yeah, we'll see where the rest of the year takes me. Hopefully some really cool experiences.
I am such a fan over here, hearting every single video you make.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And also I'll throw in one of my other big passion is about social justice in the classroom with literature. I get so fucking frustrated with these straight white dude books they want to throw out there. I don't know if you saw, there was a study that was released that the top 10 top books in the classroom, all by white people, 2 by women. And that is absolutely fucked up and needs to be changed. That's another thing I'm a huge advocate for is getting diversity. And I know I'm talking about a straight white man, Stephen King here, but I promise I advocate for so much more, and we need to read more books by women and people of color and queer people. Yeah, so throwing that all up there. If you want some horror people out there, I want to give a shout out to some amazing female horror writers out there. Check out Tanner Reeve, check out Rachel Harrison, badass queens out there that are putting it out there, queer authors. Oh my God, I'm blanking for a second. Bury Your Gaze and Camp Damascus.
Tingle.
Chuck Tingle. Oh my God. I love Chuck Tingle.
He is a trip. I love him.
Oh, he's so great. So I got a little worked up here, but oh my gosh, get out there, discover more authors. S.A. Cosby, such good writers out there. So.
Oh my gosh, I think you're doing God's work, Dr. Cody. I love your channel. I love your advocacy. I feel like you're speaking to all the educators who have been trying to put their voice to these for so many years. And so your channel is entertaining, hilarious. You have the best book taste ever. I'm just such a fan.
You're so kind.
The books you hate, I hate. And I'm like, yes. He knows, he gets it. I am going to be out there watching and hearting every single video. So thank you for all the work you do.
Thank you so much. You're so kind. It's been a pleasure.
It has been such a joy. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, Kim.
Bye-bye. All right, sweet people, that concludes my conversation with Dr. Cody Vest. Thank you, Dr. Cody. Wasn't that totally fun? I was so jazzed after that conversation. It was so great. What a pleasure to connect with King fans and well-read readers and determined literature advocates like Dr. Cody. Oh man, 1 in a million. Okay, listeners, Kim C has to get back at it. If you're currently making your way through or you've recently finished the new short story collection, The End of the World as We Know It, New Tales of the Stand, I am currently covering that title on my Patreon account, The Dance Macabre with Kim C. If you're interested in heading that way, there are a lot of fun segments on there. We have episode-by-episode coverage of the new Institute show that came out this summer. We also have coverage on the Stand miniseries from 2020, as well as some Nightmares and Dreamscapes, and other short and sweet goodies for your Stephen King podcast palette. Check me out at patreon.com/dancewithkimc. That's dance with an S. Coming up on the year of underrated Stephen King, we have another constant reader interview in the queue, and this guy, everybody, oh my god, he's a Stephen King legend. I can't believe I got to chat with him. It was a dream come true, really. That will be coming up here shortly in October, followed by perhaps a bit of coverage on the brand new Welcome to Derry miniseries on HBO Max that is slotted to premiere at the end of October. Of course, you guys know Pennywise is the priority, so we'll be sure to give the clown his proper coverage and see what this new Derry return will entail. I'm excited, I'm concerned, but boy, based on the trailers, it's looking real good, folks, especially in the costume department. You know how I roll. Fingers crossed we get a winner with the new Welcome to Derry miniseries. That is all I have for right now, good listeners. As always, feel free to say hello on Instagram and Threads. Those are the ones I'm on the most, and I will respond back to you promptly. Or you could also try traditional email at underratedsk@gmail.com, as I'm happy to respond back to you as soon as possible. I'm always online responding to students, grading, so I will get back to you as soon as possible. And it's a real joy to hear about your Stephen King journey and where you're writing from. So thank you for saying hello, and double, triple, quadruple thank you all for listening to the show. I hope wherever you are, the autumnal shift is bringing good vibrations your way. This is a wonderful season after all, and I hope yours is kicking off to be extra special. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.